Well, hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Well, welcome back. So I'm sorry that I missed you last week. Last week on Tuesday, I just kind of couldn't remember what I wanted to talk about. And then by the time I remembered, I was on my way to Carline. And by the time I pick up the girls, the day is just kind of theirs, you know. So this is kind of a random topic, but this is Random Tuesday, so I guess that goes. But this topic came to me, I think about it all the time, and I talk to people about it often, but it really kind of jumped out at me because my nephew, who's 22, was here a couple weeks ago visiting, and he brought his fiance, and they had a plan of getting married in the late summer here of 2020, but now these two are talking about shirking their wedding plans and taking the money that the family would have been spending on their wedding and buying a house. And they're both, like I said, she might even be a year or two younger than, no, because she's over 21. So she might be 21 and he's 22, but they're still relatively young. He's just about to graduate from an LPN program. I believe she's a veterinarian assistant, and they've got awesome goals for where they want to go in life. But I kind of got on a super rant talking to my mom about, you know, kind of why buying a house, even though it seems ideal, isn't always the best thing for a new couple, a new family, whether they're a young family or an old family, combining a couple of families. And the reason why I know that is, one, because of my background in real estate, watching people buy, sell, and also lose homes throughout the, you know, the housing crisis that went on here in the Valley. And honestly, we don't own this house, and I haven't ever owned a property, and I'm kind of thankful for that, because when I was in the real estate industry between 2005 and 2008, I can't tell you how many people tried to convince me to buy real estate, and at that time I was constantly just hand to mouth, you know, just paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of people who were buying houses at the time were in the exact same position, but they were convinced that it was better to buy and not rent. And I don't want to, you know, naysay any of my realtor friends, any of my lender friends, but I do want to shed some light on why it's okay, why it's even sometimes good and will save you money to rent. Because the thought process, the thing that's sold to everybody on buying a house, there's a lot of good reasons to buy a house, but one big selling thing is, you know, you're going to save all that money that you're just wasting on rent. And I've got a classic example with us living here in this house. So I'm going to kind of go through what that experience has been like and how much money we've actually saved by renting this house instead of actually owning this house. So we moved in, we got married in September of 2016. So they lived over there, we lived kind of over that way, and we wanted to be settled so that when the school year started, that all the kids would be in the same district, would have the same plan. So right at the end of the school year, which in Arizona for us is always like the end of May, like they get out like the Friday before Memorial Day, just all the time, because kids can't be going to school in June in Arizona because it's too hot. So we moved in 2016, and mind you, we're also saving and crunching money for our wedding that's going to be in like 3 months. And so we've got a pool. You may have seen that if you've ever seen our gardening videos. And if you ever have a pool and you rent a house, you absolutely have to rent a house that pays for the pool service, because the pool has been one thing that has cost us a lot of money, but it's also cost the realtor company a lot of money too, the property manager, if you will. Okay, so in the summer of 2016, we're loving life, having a pool, and then monsoon season comes in. And then, you know, we started having issues with the pool getting green. And then we're dumping hundreds of dollars worth of chlorine into the pool, and the pool just won't get clean. Well, my sister happened to be here, and I think for some reason they just took a who cares dip in the pretty green pool, and we discovered that in the monsoon someone's rug had blown into our pool and was laying on top of the bottom kind of filter. So that's why we couldn't get our pool to turn the correct color, because every bit of chlorine that we were dumping in there was just going to waste. So that was kind of like the worst thing I can say that happened in 2016. But once we got into 17, the dollars really started to rack up for the property management company, and to no fault of our own. This house is about 25 years old, even though it's, you know, it's really nice, and we love it, but it's, you know, it's an older home. So depending on the house that you buy, and even if you have a home inspection, and even if you have a home warranty company, there's going to be things that come up constantly and can be really challenging for, like I said, a new couple or a family just starting out, of any kind of how you want to work that. So in 2017, the pool issues continued, and we tried to troubleshoot and do a lot of things of our own. My husband Dale, who thank the Lord is super handy, actually had to take apart the pool motor, took that into one of the pool places, had a repair done to that, put the pool motor back on. And that's another thing to consider. If you're young, if you're a new family, do either of the people in that relationship have handy skills? Are you competent enough to get onto YouTube and let it walk you through how to repair and replace things in your home? Do you have tools? Do you know how to work any kind of tools at all? So those are all things to keep in mind. So the next thing that had to be done with the pool is that we have a sand filter, not like a DE cartridge filter. So this ongoing dilemma with the pool demanded that the sand be replaced in the pool. So this is like 800 pounds of sand that had to be removed, and 800 pounds of sand that had to be replaced. And that was, I mean, that's a steep ticket there for a pool guy, and the cost of all the sand. The property management company picked up that one. Then in the summer, in July, so it's like the sand got replaced, and then the AC went out. It like kind of started getting warm in the evening after work, and by the time we woke up, it was just sweltering in here. And the property management picked that up, and maybe because I have children, maybe because they've always been there for us when we needed something, but that AC was replaced same day. And I can't tell you what the cost of a major appliance like that could do to a new situation, and sometimes even an established family. If you don't have a strong backup of money, like Dave Ramsey says, for emergencies, some of these things could really throw your life into a tailspin, and you're responsible for them because you own that home. The next thing is in 2017, we also had to have the dishwasher replaced. So 17 was a big money ticket. And as we rolled into the winter of 17, we started to notice that the tiles in the kitchen floor felt as though they were heated. And then slowly things started to change, like the hot water didn't get as hot. The hot water didn't stay as hot as long. Then there was no hot water. Now, this is one that I diagnosed from a lot of research. I knew with every fiber of my being that it was a hot water leak under the foundation of the house. Now, that is major, major plumbing bucks. However, the property management company, they ended up paying even more money because they took a longer route via their plumber. So first, they replaced the water heater. So we got a brand new water heater, but that didn't solve the problem because there was a break in that line underneath the foundation. That's why the kitchen tiles were heated and warm when you walked on them. So after they did that, they finally, you know, did some more tests. I think they actually came out here like 2 or 3 times, but finally they conceded and, you know, agreed with me that it was a hot water leak. Now, the reason why that can get so costly is if you don't have a skilled plumber that says, hey, you know what, or depending on the house, I can rerun this line down from where it comes into the ground and up into the ceiling and back over to where it needs to be to make a connection. Because the other option is to sledgehammer, you know, break up all your tile or rip up your floor, sledgehammer down into the concrete, dig down into the hole to replace the pipe. So 2017 with a newly married couple, so this all happened within the first year of our marriage, that could have taken a super toll because I was already managing mama things that were way brand new to me, like my grocery bill blowing up, like all the added expenses of 7 people under one roof. If we would have had to have sustained all those things, I don't know where we would be at today because I worked on commission at the time. So my check could be 10 cents one week and it could be $10,000 the next week. And so that was all of 17. Now 18 was a little mild. We only had there's a shaft on the pool that you have to move up and down to backwash the pool. That broke. So property management had to pick up that one as well. Then in 19, we had 3 different events. The first one was we needed the sprinklers. There was an issue with the sprinkler system, so they sent out a crew to work on that. And then in the garage, if you've ever looked above where your garage door opens up, there's like a bar that runs across there and there's a giant spring. And I promise you, we always try to fix as much stuff as we can around here. I haven't even talked about how many times my husband has fixed toilets, cleaned out drains. I mean, with my girl's hair, he probably cleans out the drains every 3 to 6 months, okay? So we determined that we could do nothing about the garage door because this coil that had to be replaced is like a death trap. So property management picked up that one as well as the sprinklers. And then even though we didn't have a super rainy monsoon season, we still had a super windy monsoon season. So on the east slope of our house, we had to have several roof tiles replaced because our roof started leaking. And so when we did get a little bit of rain, we got a little bit of water, but they got it fixed just like that. Now we're into 20, and since the very beginning of 2020, and we're not even at the end of January, the washing machine has already replaced, and they had to send a pool guy out here. Now that pool guy, I don't know how much it cost them, but I would have been very burnt up if it would have cost me because it ended up being just a leaf in the impeller that was impeding the pool's pump, impeding the pool's ability to flow water, which again, anytime anything goes wrong with the pool, that means I'm spending extra hundreds of dollars on chlorine and chemicals to get that thing right again. So that's pretty much the end of my rant. But I mean, if I sat down and did the research and looked at the costs of all of these things, I think it'd be easy to see why it's not always the right thing for us to rush into, owning a property that's going to come with a whole host of its own little things. And that's even if you buy brand new, because things happen. And even though a realtor might tell you that your home warranty is going to be your best friend, there's a lot of catches to the home warranty. Like, if every service isn't performed at the right time for your air conditioner, then they're not going to replace your air conditioner if something goes wrong with it. They're not even going to fix it. So there's a lot of little things in there. There's also a lot of little things that they will take care of for you, but there's a lot of catches, and sometimes those catches that put the cost on you might be the thing that really puts a tailspin on your situation. And I know everybody will tell you that one of the most challenging things about being in a relationship is finances. So when you're already trying to figure everything out, and then you have the opportunity to be bombarded with these costs, it's definitely something to pause and, you know, give some great reflection. So kind of in a way, I really made this video for my nephew, but I also want other people to know that even though you might get pressure from your family, from your friends, maybe some of your professional friends who are realtors or lenders, that you've got to buy a house, especially now while the interest rates are low, it's not always the very best thing for you. And even though you might read articles out there that talk about how fast the housing market's moving, how the prices are this, how the prices are that, if that's the case, that's still not a reason for you to rush in, because that means you might not be able to fully afford it right now, but you're doing it because out of a fear, you're afraid that the prices are going to go up, but that's still not going to compensate for all the things that you may or may not be prepared for. So that's my little rant, and I just want you to, you know, maybe share that. I don't really ask people to do that. But if you've got somebody young in your life, or you know of a new family, or if you know somebody that's on the edge of their seat or kind of walking the line between whether or not should I rent or should I buy, I hope this video lets them know that it's okay to rent. You know, it's better to save. I mean, I brought up Dave Ramsey's name earlier, but I really do believe in the thought processes of Dave Ramsey. So that's totally why our intention when we look in the next couple of years to moving out to a piece of land and having a house out there, our goal is to do that where everything's paid off, so that we're not paying money to the bank, paying for lender's insurance, paying for house insurance, paying for taxes. Some of those things can't be avoided. We're always going to be paying house insurance. We're always going to be paying property tax. But by going into a situation prepared and debt-free, you know, we've got an opportunity to be able to shoulder anything that comes along to us. So I hope that you enjoyed this little rant today, ramble, randomness. I hope you have the best day ever, and I look forward to chatting with you next time.